Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Márcio Marinho here. Lombok is a Java library that was built to help coping with all the boilerplate code that we have to write. So the intention of this library is actually to reduce lines of code and make the code more easy to understand and transparent. So I was thinking about a topic to talk today, and this subject came to my mind because I believe 1 year ago I had a chat with one of my managers. Well, I've been using Lombok for quite a while at that point in time. And then he told me, okay, no, just we should remove Lombok. And then why? And then we had a nice discussion about the pros and cons. And then I said, yeah, okay, I'm gonna remove it. So there you go. Later on, a few months after that event, I was teaching a friend of mine on how to code in Java. He coded in a few languages, but at that point in time, he was coding in Golang. But I told him, okay, let's try this application in Java, and then I can teach you as well, so it's gonna be good for you to learn. So you already know Golang, so you're gonna learn Java now. And then I built the project, and then I added Lombok. Guess what? He got really confused about where the methods were, what was going on, and so on. And then I said, yeah, maybe my former boss was right. So I decided to discuss today Lombok with you guys. So let me share my screen with you guys. Okay, here we go. So this is my idea. I have here a simple Maven Java project as usual. I'm gonna show you guys my dependencies as well. So as you guys can see, it's a very simple Maven project. The only big difference here is the addition of the Lombok library, and that's all. So for IntelliJ users, a few other things you have to do. Actually, a couple things. You have to install the Lombok plugin, which I already have. So here, likewise for Eclipse also have a similar plugin. And just look for annotation processors. You have to click to enable annotation processing. So IntelliJ will now understand all Lombok's annotations. So now click OK. And then I'm gonna get started here. I'm gonna write some code. Let me add a new package model. Then I'm gonna add a very simple and straightforward class called person, which has two fields only, an ID and a name. So if you want to use that class, we can simply instantiate that class, same person. Let me import new person, and then that's it. So we have nothing else there. We can print the toString methods for the person object, which is gonna print only the class name plus the hash code as per default implementation in the object class. But now, of course, this class is not useful because it has no methods, it has no accessors. I have only this default constructor. And here comes Lombok to our help. So I can now add a Lombok annotation. For example, all args constructor. Now I have a constructor which has all the arguments. So what Lombok will do is it will generate me a constructor with a long and a string. So parameters, and then we'll set on these variables here. So I can now say ID number 1 and name is Márcio. So here we go. And then we're gonna have the same outcome here, which is the class name and the hash code. But we know that now we have a constructor with two arguments. Another useful annotation is getter. So it generates all getter methods for us for free. Let me get name, for example, and now I'm gonna run it again. So yeah, that's it. So Lombok generates those methods for free for us, which is pretty amazing. So that's the proposal of the library, which is to reduce the boilerplate code. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna make some modifications here. So I'm gonna use another annotation, which is data. Data will now stick to the default constructor, and then it will create all getters and setters for us for free. So person set ID 1L, person dot set name Marcio, and then I can yeah, let me just change the order here. Now I can say get ID, get name, and yeah, the outcome should be exactly what we expect. So get name and get ID, and also the toString here, as you can see in the third print, because that annotation also generates the toString, which we no longer use the default implementation of object, which is pretty cool. But as I said, I've been thinking about this, and whenever I have a simple project which is small and compact, that's fine. But the problem is whenever you get a big project with a lot of people, that starts to get really messy, because not everybody understands. People are not used to these things. And another point of view is we can simply create everything that we need via IDE for free. Another example here is, let me add another class here. Let's say transaction. So transaction again. Transaction has an ID. Private local date time, and then an amount, and I can do the same thing here. I can add it is a data, and also it also belongs to a person, and I'm gonna add data in here. So I can now create a new transaction. Let me yeah, I'll just leave these things here, and let me create a new transaction here. New transaction, and then I can keep assigning everything I need. So that's a transaction ID, transaction date time, local date time dot now. Yeah. Transaction dot amount is new big decimal. Okay, and I think that's it. That's all we need. And of course, also assign the person. Set person is myself. Now I can print the transaction, and then we should see something similar as before. So now I'm printing transaction, which is a toString that Lombok is implementing for us, and all of this information which is inside the class transaction. So Lombok has many other utility annotations. For example, we can make a class immutable. So for example, my example class is now a value class, which means Lombok is gonna generate the all-args constructor for that class and the getters. So let's test it. ID private name, private string name, and private int age. So it's at value. I can now run my example. I'll simply example, new example. So it's asking me the arguments because I need a long string and int, which are exactly my fields here. So let me make the compiler happy. Marinho, and age 12 years old. And then I'm gonna print the example. Let me simply add something to split the outcomes here. And yeah, so exactly the same thing. So the biggest difference here with the value annotation is that I cannot mutate that object, so it's immutable. I can only build a new object with the values I'm defining here, and then I cannot mutate it. That's it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So Lombok has many other features, so you guys can take a look at the website, which I'm gonna link in the description. But after a while, and after all of those discussions, and after that time I was teaching my friend to code in Java and introduce him to Lombok, it's really not worth it to use on a bigger project, so I don't use it anymore, only for small projects or some demos, because it really hides what we are doing. And nowadays we can generate all of this code using our IDEs, Eclipse or IntelliJ, just like I'm gonna do right now. So let me clear everything up. Oops, not the fields. I still need the fields. Same thing here, person, transaction, and here we go. Yeah, let me start with the example. I can simply ask my IntelliJ to generate getter and setters. So I can simply assign all fields, and it's gonna generate. And it's better this way because it's explicit. So whenever someone comes here to this class, they will take a look at, oh yeah, that's it, get and set. These are the methods. Same thing here. I can also create the new constructor. For example, I can generate the all-args constructor. I really love doing final, so just make things as immutable as possible. And yeah, now I can pass the values to the example. Yeah, still works, still compile, and I can easily do the same thing to the other classes. So let me do for this one. I'm gonna generate the all args constructor, and I'm gonna generate all getters. So I won't allow anyone to mutate these classes. What else? Yeah, now I can use this one. Likewise for a transaction, I'm gonna create all args constructor, and also add the getters here. And yeah, here we go. So in this case, I can also create the toString, because we've seen that we were using the toString from Lombok, as you guys can see here on my screen. I'm gonna generate using my IDE. So it's gonna print all the objects content, which are the fields. And yeah, it even generates me something really nice here that I'm gonna show you guys pretty soon. That's for transaction. Same thing for my person class, toString. Yeah. And I'm gonna change here the constructor, because now I no longer have setter methods. Here we go. So now what I did was, instead of using Lombok to create that boilerplate code for myself, I simply generate that code myself. I'm gonna delete my example here because I don't want to use it anymore. So I have everything I need on my transaction and also on my person class. So pretty simple what I did. Let me clean up the imports. Yeah, I simply created a constructor, which is the allargs constructor, which takes all parameters. I'm setting the fields, and then I generated the get field. So it's pretty simple, and also asked my IDE to generate the toString, which I could do it manually anyways, which is simply printing the objects fields. So whenever we run our application, we are saying print the transaction. It's gonna print everything in here. So it's pretty much the same thing. So this is my conclusion. Yeah, I still think Lombok is a pretty amazing library, but I don't think it's really worth it to use it on a large project for a production piece of software, because it's gonna hide stuff. It is an extra dependency on your project as well, so you have to carry that extra dependency, and there is nothing Lombok does that we cannot do it easily and simply. And also everything that we write using the IDE, every code we write, that becomes really transparent. So whenever anyone comes to this class transaction, they will see it has a allargs constructor because it's here. And also they're gonna see all the other methods that we have implemented. So yeah, this was my conclusion. So I really appreciated my boss for having that chat with me, and also my friend that I was teaching Java, and he was confused. And then I said, "Oh my God, that's why." So it's not that intuitive for people to link these things, and it's an extra dependency anyway. So the less, the better. Okay, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel so you not miss any of my videos. And you're gonna help me with the YouTube's algorithm whenever you hit that like button, okay? So, I'll see you guys next time.